How could I innovate the
Ungoogleable.
thing that I'm doing here?
Welcome
We don't
to
do
your
that
life.
because we're too busy
Today
being
is
busy.
beautiful.
So
Please
that's the
log
sort of
in.
the technology piece, but it doesn't really stop there. In fact, the biggest challenge that we face is more about our office space than it is about the tools that we use within them. Work is really changing. Work is really something different to us today because of the way we live our lives, because of the world in which we live, than it was even just a few years ago. The other thing that's happening is the way that we change our office design. How many of you work in an open plan office? These are sort of insane sort of organizational sort of studies that showed that we could be more collaborative with people if we take away all of the barriers. We remove all of the boundaries, people will talk to each other more. What do? I go to my office, I sit at my open plan desk, I email people 3 desks away. But worse still, there's this sort of really basic human dynamic that happens when you put people in these open plan offices, which at the time we thought would be the sort of height of collaborative thinking. Some really primal things start to happen to us. We start to feel really exposed. If you go back to your office and if you work in an open plan, just have a look at this when you go back. What you'll see is in the middle of the floor, there will be a whole series of open plan desks, and everybody sat in the middle of the floor will be sat with their screens facing outward. So they're always vulnerable. Everything they do could be monitored at any one point in time. And this leads to a sense of anxiety, a sense of stress, because I guarantee that somewhere on your floor will be 1 or maybe 2 other desks, and they will be different because they will be the ones where the monitors are facing the window or facing the wall, so that the manager can sit and monitor everybody on the savannah and make sure that they're working and doing the stuff that they need to do. Now we know, even just from the animal world, that animals on the savannah live in this state of heightened stress because they're under supervision. They don't know at any moment the predator may strike. They may get distracted. They may get pushed away. And this in turn fundamentally changes people, the way people think, the way they create, the way they choose to do their work. But if you buy any of that, you start to then question, well, what is work? Work is no longer a destination. We come through a history of standardization, of industrialization, where in order to work, you had to go to where the infrastructure was. If you were a factory worker, you had to go to where the plant was. We carried that forward into the information economy. You had to go, in the days before the internet, if you wanted to use personal computers, you had to go to the office. It was the only place that you could see them or use them or touch them. And then networks came along, and the only way that you could get on the network is you had to be in the office. The problem is that we now live in a world where none of those things are true. For the average knowledge worker, you don't need to be in a specific location at a specific point in time to access specific services. You have, most of you, I guarantee, looking at some of you are even doing it now, have all of the tools that you need in the pocket, in your pocket or in your bag, and you can
Thank you for logging out.
And yet what do? We're so ingrained in working in this way.
Please
we
come
still
back
do
tomorrow.
this insane thing. We commute every day to be in the same place.
Red, blue, green.
Congratulations.
You reject the good enough. You reject words like symbolism and postmodernism. Obsolescence is not part of your vocabulary. Every night, every day, every step of the way, the diktat of fashion, the agenda of the Colo wheel. Gone. It takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. I repeat, it takes more than a pretty face to catch your attention. Good. That is very good. We are source decoded. For you. For the most perfect moisturizer. The most advanced cosmetic lineup. Scientifically proven, scientifically tested. For you.
Congratulations. Calibration completed.